Hello, everyone. How we doing? Welcome to a very special She Inspires Me. At Twitter, we have been hosting conversations like this on platform and in rooms to bring to life the moments and movements that matter most. She Inspires Me is dedicated to elevating and amplifying women in every industry and around the world. The ones on stage, the ones on screen, the ones behind the scenes, all of you in this room, and all the women and allies around the world who are watching this today. Now I would like to welcome to the stage another incredible, brilliant female force and our co-moderator, Dr. Stacy Smith of the Annenberg's Inclusion Initiative. Please come on up, Stacy. And few embody the spirit of this event quite like the incredible female forces behind the highly anticipated film Hustlers, which premieres at TIFF tonight. These women need no introduction. I'd like to call to the stage Constance Wu, Jennifer Lopez, Keke Palmer, Lily Reinhart, and Lorene Scafaria. Welcome, ladies. Welcome.
Hi, guys.
So I think we can agree every one of us here is a hustler. We've hustled to get where we are. We're hustling daily. So the first thing I want you all to do, your phones are out. I see that. You've got some good shots. We want you to share your story. How'd you get where you are? What have you learned along the way? Who inspired you? What are the jobs and the side hustles you've taken to be in these seats? So on Twitter, tweet using the hashtag #TweetYourHustle. And now I'd love it if each of you, in 280 characters, can share a bit of your hustle. Want to start, Constance?
How do I just say what I did?
Yeah. Give us a snapshot of your hustle.
I waited a lot of tables.
As you do.
I made a lot of dumb decisions, but I made them with my heart. And they were dumb in the short run, but in the long run, it worked out. How many characters was that?
You were perfect. That's how we learn. Jennifer.
I started as a dancer.
Yes.
I danced my way to the seat. By the way, still dancing.
Yes. Oh, is she
Still
ever?
dancing in this very movie, Hustlers.
Yes.
I started as a dancer and started studying acting right when I started dancing and kind of supported myself that way. Then started acting and started doing movies, and here I am, making records, things like that.
It's all come together.
I invested in myself. I put time into the things that really were important to me. I kind of always stayed ready, so I didn't have to get ready. And I never limited myself. I never felt like, just because one thing wasn't going at the speed that I wanted, I couldn't move to the next and wait for that to catch up. So I always, I made my options wide, and put myself in everything that I could.
I'm lucky that I had a really supportive family along the way, and I didn't really have a plan B. I kind of told myself that this is what I wanted to do, and I did it, and when I failed, I tried again, and luckily it worked out.
I'm a Jersey girl, and I'm an immigrant's kid. So the hustle started with watching my father work and wanting that same kind of independence, and here we are.
Amazing.
Well, it's great to be here. I'm Dr. Stacy Smith, and I typically bring bad news to rooms like this. So I'm going to start with a little bad news, and then we're going to turn it real quick. In 2018, across 100 movies, we still see some erasure going on screen. 33 erased black women altogether. 54 erased Asian women altogether. 70 Latinas altogether. And it's even worse for other marginalized communities, LGBT community, people with disabilities. Only 4% of female directors work across the top 100 films. However, we also know from research that female directors are the solution, and they change everything.
Okay.
They change the stories that we see. We see who is on screen differently, and they also change hiring practices behind the camera. So in the spirit of today, we're going to talk about inspiration, and I want to start with Jennifer and Constance. Your friendship is at the center of this movie. And so I want you to tell us a little bit about your life. Who supported you professionally and opened doors for each of you?
Who supported me professionally was my mom. I think my mom, from a very young age, let me. I have 2 sisters, so it was all girls in our family. I have 3 cousins, all girls. My mom, my aunts, my grandmother. So I was raised around all women. So they were really my support system. Of course, I had my dad as well, who was amazing. But I really felt the strength of the females in my family. And it was my mom who instilled in us very young, because she felt like she was told the story that she needed to get married because it was, her time was running out and she was 20. And yeah. And she was 20 and her time was running out and she had to get married. And she was like, I don't ever want you guys to depend on anybody. I want you guys to be independent women. She taught all 3 of us that. All 3 of us went to college for a little while. And then we all are, support ourselves. And that was, for me, she also made us feel like we could do anything, that jobs didn't have a gender, that we could be the president of the United States if we wanted. Yes. And that was something that really stayed with me. It really made me dream so much bigger, I think, than the people and the kids that I grew up with around me, that I had a mom who was telling me that because of her own suppression. Felt like, how do I make you see that you can do anything, really anything? And I think that that's why I've been able to do a lot of the things I do, and also don't keep myself in a box. I don't, I think people say, you are a dancer, you can't be an actress. You're an actress, you can't be a singer. You're a singer, you shouldn't produce. You're an artist, you shouldn't go into directing or any of that. And even beyond that, or branding and marketing yourself and becoming your own worldwide brand. I felt like that was something that was all within the realm of possibility because of her.
Thank you. Constance, how about you?
Well, I grew up in a family of all women, too. I have 3 sisters. But, it's interesting for me thinking about that question because my sisters are amazing, wonderful people, and same thing with my whole family, but I'm the only person in my family who is in the performing arts, who ever even had an interest in the arts. And so while functionally my family was just amazing, sometimes I had to look elsewhere for artistic support, somebody who sort of understood the things that I was passionate about. And so for me, it was actually other artists and the things that they said about why they did what they did and how they do it sort of kept me from feeling alone in my own passion. And so that's why it's important for me today to do the same for other people.
Amazing, amazing. So friendship is the center of the film, but also mentorship. And Kiki and Lily, you're mentored by Jennifer and Constance's characters in the film.
Come on.
Just wait. You're in for a treat when you see this movie. So for the 2 of you, I really am curious. A female mentor in your life that's meant a lot to you, either opened doors for you, showed you a way that was possible, or pushed you into new heights, either that you knew or that you didn't know. Kiki, let's start with you. Okay, Lily, let's start with you.
Well, I think definitely my mom, who's in the audience, but I won't call her out.
She is.
Yeah.
Oh man, I love Lily.
But my mom really, from a young age, supported me all the way, and she was never a stage mom, not even in the slightest, but she knew that I was really passionate about acting, and I probably wasn't very good at 12 years. Well, I know I wasn't very good at 12 years old, but this was something that I wanted to do, and she was so supportive of it. And I'm really lucky that I had my whole family was incredibly supportive. My dad, my sisters, and she would drive me 8 hours from Ohio to New York for an audition that I had no shot at, but she believed in me.
Okay, where's Mom? Where's Mom?
Yeah, please stand up.
She's right there.
Where's she? Where's she?
She's right there. That's my sister, Tess.
Hey, girl.
Yeah.
Mine's is similar to Lily's. My mom has been my biggest inspiration and support system. She told me always as a kid, similar to your mom, that you can do anything. Don't let people limit you as an entertainer. And we shared a passion of the arts. So the way that we were able to bond and the way that I was able to learn how to nurture my talent through my relationship with her is very invaluable to me. And then I would say also Queen Latifah. I did my first role with Queen Latifah when I was 9 in Barbershop 2, and ever since then, she always acknowledged me. I think when someone that you admire or is doing the things that you dream to do shows you acknowledgement, it really... It taught me how much it means for me to do that to someone when I'm older. To watch how she treated me and how she made me feel important, and how when she was doing a movie, I would find out, not through her, but through the grapevine, that, Queen Latifah said, if somebody's going to play my daughter, I want it to be Kiki. And I'm like, wow, Queen is still rooting for me after all this time. And I remember we had a conversation when I was 17, and she said, Kiki, I'm not just saying it because I'm just saying it. She's like, it's your work ethic. I see what you're doing, and I want to encourage that. And so she taught me a lot by her behavior towards me. She taught me how to be to others. So those two, I would say, have been really inspirational.
Lorraine, we know that having a female director can change everything. Not only the vision of the story, but you are also the writer of the story. And we also know this because I did a set visit in March. And I was told by crew members that you had a feminist spirit that you brought to the set, that you valued collaboration, and they couldn't wait to contribute, knowing that you valued them. So maybe take us through your leadership position on this movie and how that changed the on-set experience in terms of not only who you hired, but what day-to-day life was like on that very short turnaround that you had with this movie from announcement to theatrical release.
Yeah, 8 months from green light to release date. I don't recommend it, but we did it, and we did it in a 29-day shoot, and it's because of women like this and our crew, our mostly New York crew. Oh, Kiki, come on. It was it was a really collaborative thing. I mean, of course, there's a hierarchy on a set. It's nice when women are in charge because it leads to hiring, obviously, a lot of women. But it also, when you hire men who are willing to work for women, they are different kinds of men. And so I appreciate the men who were involved in this film, too, because, they did their part as well. But, I mean, even though there's this real hierarchy, I just believe in treating everyone equally, whether they're PAs or stars. I just believe in treating everybody the same. I don't, if anyone had a question, if anyone had a comment, if anyone had a suggestion, I'm all ears. I certainly had a vision in mind, obviously, but when it comes to collaboration, I mean, that's what filmmaking is all about. And so, just really grateful that we had such a hardworking, dedicated group of people, and especially on a 29-day shoot where you're asking a lot of people. You're asking for really hardcore hours that sometimes just keep on going, and so you really want people who feel invested in the movie and feel like they're really a part of it and that they're being heard, because that's really important.
I have one last question before I hand it back over to Nola. Is based on what Lorraine just articulated, how did having so many women on set? I know when I visited the women in the camera department, I was blown away by. I was just fixated on them and their experiences. But starting with Lily and working all the way down to Constance, what was it like? How was it different, or was it analogous to other sets you've been on with female directors? How did it change the nature of the experience?
Well, I think maybe there's like some sort of idea that maybe all women crews or cast are going to have drama or be so different, but it's really not that different. Like, it's truly, to me it wasn't. It's just like, cool, there's a bunch of badass bitches in here. Like, but it's not, we're just as hardworking as anyone else or any man behind a camera. Like, it's pretty much the same. It's the same work ethic, and you're just like really happy to see all these women in the room because it doesn't happen often. Because I think there's maybe some idea people have that movies starring all women are going to be a horrible environment on set, and it so is not like that. Like, we're just very much champions for each other, and it was great.
Yeah, same thing. I think it's about character. It's about who people are. Like she said, there were many women in charge, but we worked with the men too. But the men, they just like the women there, they came with the proper intention and attitude. It was about uplifting each other, making sure that we hit these deadlines. Not, it's intense, but we're gonna still have fun, and making sure that we are caring about one another. We're out, late at night, 3 a.m. We in the car, and it's like Jennifer's there making sure we still get our energy up. She's like, "Come on, girls, don't go to sleep. We in there." It was a family, and so to me that just speaks to good people, and that started at the top. And Lorene is extremely modest and humble, but she's the bomb.com. I'm not kidding you. She is kind, she's polite, she's patient, and when you have somebody that she's the one that got to be on the set every day. She's the one that has to be. We might not be in every single scene, but she's got to be directing every single one. So when she's calm and she's deliberate and she has a clear vision, it don't matter how hard the schedule is. We know we're going to be good because she's got our back.
I'm going to cry, truly.
It's true.
I mean, it's great to work with all women. There's a shorthand. You feel very comfortable. I've worked, I've done I don't know how many movies, many, and I've worked with a lot of men, mostly men directors, mostly men crew, and it is a boys' club. It most definitely is, and you are the girl on the set. And when you have all women on a set, it all becomes now more evened out, especially when there's a woman director, because that's who's calling the shots, really. And when you have further behind that all women producers, then you're really talking something special. You're talking, everybody, and I don't know, women get shit done, fast. It's like moms. It's like having a whole bunch of moms in there. It's like, let's do this, let's do that, we can do that, we can do that fast, we can get that shot, let's do that one more time. It's just like, it gets done. Even though it was how many days shoot?
29.
29 days we shot this movie, and it's a miracle in a sense. And we had so much to do, and every day I think we were just trying to squeeze out, and nobody ever said, no, I don't think we can get this or we can get that. And even if Lorene had a moment of doubt or whatever, I was like, we got this, we're good. We're going to do this. We're going to get everything we need. The producers come to me, like, it's going to be, we're running out of money. It's going to be crazy. I said, it's going to be fine. We're going to do, and that was the kind of collective attitude, like everybody kind of lifting each other up in every moment to make sure that we knew that this was something that we could do and do on a very high level to a very high quality, which is what we were all aiming for. Okay. So.
It did.
For me, being on a set with all women really just felt like a type of freedom to be myself. I think so often I'm in these situations where it's primarily men, patriarchal society, we obviously are. And I feel like I either have to act like I'm one of the boys to get respect, or I have to, play cute and unassuming to even stay in the room. And when that dynamic changed and was all women, I felt like I don't have to act like one of the boys. I could just act like me. And I could talk about, like I could ask you for a tampon, and it's not a big deal. And it's like nobody's freaking out. Everybody is free to be themselves because we're making something together. I think that's the reason why you're saying women get shit done. It's because we really wanted to make this together collaboratively, whereas in a lot of sets I've been in where it's primarily male, sometimes there's this weird like competitive element between them, and they say that we're the ones who are competitive, but the ego thing is the thing that gets in the way of everything. Yeah, but we didn't really have that on this, and I think that was a credit to Lorene and especially to Jen, because Jen, I mean, you guys all know she's an icon. She is, but she is the most caring person I've ever worked with. I was telling them the other day about how when we were in the mall, there's this scene, and there's like all this paparazzi there, right? And I'm not used to acting in front of the paparazzi. And so I'm like a little bit upset, and she's like, what's wrong? And I don't want to cause any trouble, because it's like the beginning, and I'm like sort of like, I don't want to seem like anything. So I'm like, oh, nothing. She's like, no, I see there's something wrong. What's going on? And I was like, I don't know, it's really distracting my performance with all these paparazzi. She turns around, she goes, you guys gotta move. You guys gotta go, sorry. And they all just left. And that's how she takes care of us. You did that.
I want everybody to feel comfortable, and I think that's the difference. I don't think sometimes that it's the case on sets or in a workplace is that people care about how you feel. They don't. There's a lot of work to get done, but I actually do. I like everybody to be happy and everything to be working smoothly, and so on a set where I'm a producer, I like to make sure, and even just acting, if I'm one of the actors, and I want everybody to feel really comfortable and good and feel like they can be their best self. They could be their best and most free self and like really soar and thrive in that environment.
You really feel that energy and you feel that support. Looking at the conversation on Twitter, it has been next level. Every DM group I'm in, all my girlfriends want to see it. I'm going to see the movie with every group of girlfriends I have. Why do you think it's resonated so much?
I don't know. I mean, I think there's a real stigma around what these women, these characters do for a living, not just where they ended up, but where they started from. Writing for me is an exercise in empathy always, and I really enjoy taking characters who may feel misunderstood and try to see if we can understand them a little bit more. So there's something I think ultimately relatable about them. I mean, I danced for the money, to get this movie made. So there's, I'm saying it's we're all exactly like you said. We're all hustling. So it's just there's something incredibly relatable about women who are trying to thrive, trying to survive, trying to get by, whether they're moms, single moms. We're all a little out of breath at the starting line, depending on how many hurdles we had to get there. So I think there's just something ultimately relatable about even these characters who may not seem that way.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for the inspiration, for the motivation, for hustling, and for this film and being here with us. You all inspire us.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. And thank all of you for being here.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.